Tonight on Lost in the Files, we take a look at the canceled Boo game by Retro Studios. This game has hid from the press for years. It's time for it to come out to play. In May of 2020, a man by the name of Sammy Hall would upload several photos to his online portfolio. He had previously been an employee of the video game company, Retro Studios. These images uploaded by him, however, were weird. They featured images from a game no one had ever heard of, based on the Mario enemy, known as Boos. Not only that, but when the reaction came from the public and journalism, the artist just deleted his whole ArtStation account and all the images with it. Leaving a bit of a mystery behind him. What was this game and what was he so afraid of?
So for those unfamiliar, the Boos first appeared in the 1988 classic, Super Mario Bros. 3. These shy but lethal ghosts would quickly become a quirky mainstay in almost all of the Super Mario games. From sports to parties, there's always more than a ghost of a chance. You'll see these spooky creatures terrifying the innocent of the Mario franchise.
Which makes them ideal for a spin-off. Would you believe that they almost got one? And by an American studio?
Before we continue this story, we need to know of a certain American game development company by the name of Retro Studios. Originally founded in 1998 in Austin, Texas, as a collaborative effort between Nintendo and Iguana Entertainment founder Jeff Spangenberg. Jeff's company had previously made an adult-aimed video game called Turok for the Nintendo 64.
The goal was for Nintendo to fund this new studio, in hopes of having them develop more mature games for their then upcoming system, the GameCube. Over the course of their existence, Nintendo had lacked a strong lineup of games aimed at older players. They seem to be looking for a change.
One thing that has not changed is Nintendo having a history of being very protective of their brands. To put it lightly, there have often been some complications in having studios outside of Japan handle their intellectual properties, which makes it even more bizarre that they wanted to work with an American studio on more mature games. Nintendo is very protective and wants to maintain a level of quality. It's understandable that they could fear how a different culture could have different values or tastes that might not align with their hopes for their image. Up until recently, they had been hesitant to approve of Hollywood adaptations of their games and even rejected the idea of doing a Super Mario Bros. Comic written by acclaimed and successful Sonic the Hedgehog writer Ian Flynn of IDW and Archie. While this might come off as strange to be so hesitant to approve of these adaptations, they are far from the only company to do this. Video game publisher Capcom outright canceled a video game based off the California Raisins, yeah them, that was made in secret by their American team. After the Japanese publisher had seen it appear in a magazine to promote the game, they quickly yanked it from release before it could even hit the market. Retro would fare much better than those raisins ever did. They would go on to develop the critically acclaimed 2002 classic Metroid Prime, which has recently seen a remake on the Nintendo Switch. But Metroid wasn't the only Nintendo franchise to have the attention of Retro. Around 2006 and 2007, Retro would begin work on The Haunt Project, a Mario spin-off revolving around the Boos. The player would follow the story of a young Boo, freshly graduated from the Haunt University. Now, the concept art was incredible, and the game would excel at horror-esque concepts and theming. These are some of the most screwed up concepts you'd ever see in a Mario game. Our ghost hero appears to be taking on broomies in the art, the possible main enemies of the game. Now, not to be biased, but I love these ideas. The game is believed to have possibly come from the concept of another game Retro was working on, a puzzle game called The Blob Game. Now, Retro pitched the idea of reworking this game with the Boos from Mario. It is believed that the Boos, though, were only ever added to the concept art in pitches, at least as far as we know. It's fascinating to see how blobs could have affected gameplay. The Boos have taken on many forms over the years, so they could have gotten very creative with it. What a shame it never saw the light of day.
So there is literally so much potential in doing a game in this style. What a shame. I don't know why they would cancel a game like...
It's not over yet.
Return the game? Like to GameStop? I ain't getting nothing for this.
So, why was this game cancelled? Over the course of this series, we have seen many games see their production cease due to financial troubles, infighting, and a lack of commitment to the original idea. However, for once, I am pleased to say that this game was a very different story. Apparently, this game was cancelled, not because Retro was just doing that bad, but because they were just that good. Retro in Nintendo's eyes was seen as a studio that needed to commit their time to more important projects. They didn't want them wasting their time with this game. Nintendo has been a huge supporter of Retro over the years and sees them as a valuable company for making games. Game development is far from cheap, and they have gone through long droughts without a new game, canceled projects, and even several changes in staff and leadership over the years. Despite all this, the company has survived and still receives paychecks from Nintendo. They have been trusted with some of Nintendo's most popular series and are currently in production of a fourth entry in the Metroid Prime series. While it's a shame to see this Boo game go, if it was for the sake of better projects, then perhaps it's better left alone.
So that concludes the story of the Boo game. The generator usually catches that. Return the... For the last time, no. We've acquired many different games that were canceled over the years. Beta assets, cancel games, you name it, we have it. This game's not getting any special treatment. Alright, I'll return the game. Do you, or someone you know, have a mystery you would like to see featured on the channel? Then reach out to me on one of my social platforms. You can also find me on Patreon. The support here really makes a huge difference, so really, thank you. Now let's see who else made this episode come to life.